My name is Azum Juliet Chinedu. I'm from Delta State. I'm from Ndukwa West local government, Abbey town precisely. I'm from the family of six. I grew up in Lagos and schooled in Delta State Polytechnic. I studied mass communication. I'm a fashion designer. I left Lagos for school 2013. Then the normal thing, students to go home for holiday. Okay. But I actually relocated fully to Asaba, where I based. That was 2020 November. Yes, after COVID. That was even after my NYSA. Yeah. Okay, following my present profession, a fashion designer. I actually aspire to be one of the best fashion designers in the world. And it's a daily step which I'm working towards, working hard to actually achieve it in years to come. And probably also dive into other aspects of life as time goes on. But for now, what I'm pursuing is becoming the best fashion designers or one of the best fashion designers. Fashion for me, in my own words, is everything. Fashion is my joy. It's my inspiration. Fashion is my dream. Okay, it's a joy for me to actually see my creativity on people and it's being appreciated. So fashion for me is everything. It's love and everything for me. Actually, I never wanted to be a fashion designer. Growing up, I had always wanted to be a lawyer. I go to school, considering my background, where I grew up from, and all of that. I'd always aspired to be a lawyer, probably a judge someday. But you know how Nigeria is. As you grow up, you tend to change, or the economy or situation of the country tend to change your dreams and all of that. So when I gained admission into Polytechnic, I can't study law in Polytechnic due to one or two circumstances. So I had to dive into mass communication. After school or during my year 3, which was my HND1, in fact, I don't know how this old fashioned thing started. I started from making palm slippers, these Ankara palm slippers, palm bags, and all of that. And then there came a time where someone said, "Oh, Juliet, I need palm slippers and sandal for my pre-wedding shoot, and I need a touch of it on a polo." And then I wasn't into sewing. I was just into the palm slippers. So I took the polo and the touch of Ankara to a tailor, and when the lady billed me, I was like, "Come on, even the whole money that this person paid me to do this job is not, up to half of what you're asking for, or is almost half of what you're asking for." So I was like, this thing is something I can actually do, and I was like, okay, maybe I should just put my head down and learn it, since I already have flavor for this, a little bit of Ankara touch on clothes and all of that, on bags. I can actually do more. So that was how the whole fashion thing came in place. Okay, it started in 2016. Yes, boredom actually caused it. I was in Lagos. Then I was supposed to be doing my 1 year IT after my OND. So having searched for a lot of places and I couldn't get. One of the days I was home and I was bored and I had this material at home. And I was just looking at my worn out slippers and I'm like, I can actually use this Ankara to do something new. So, that was how it started. And then, remember I said the polo thing, the pre-wedding picture thing. So I had to go into sewing away from just the slippers and the bag thing. That was in 2018, you get. So I had to further learning fashion designing. Okay, while I was learning, I just discovered that I was not just learning this thing because I wanted to learn. I started seeing the inner passion that I have for the job, away from the pain I got from paying for just attaching an Ankara to polo, you know. I just discovered that at the point I started loving this thing. So I basically had to buy material sometimes to make for my friends. And out of jest, sometimes they will say it outside like, when somebody say, your clothes is nice, now I want your tailor. You get the thing. And from there, people started getting to know what I do, and couple the fact that sometimes I would just do something and wear it and people will compliment, I'm like, oh, I made it. Basically it's self-wear adverts and recommendations actually. Most challenging aspect of fashion in Nigeria. I really cannot say this is a specific challenge of fashion in Nigeria. I can only narrow that down to my own personal thing, which is basically communicating with customers. Sometimes customers are hard to please. There are some customers you think that this one I don't finish in work, like you think you'll be giving yourself kudos to some credit, and they will come and tell you, I don't like what you did. Sometimes it can be so pained, it can be breaking. There are points where I've literally said to myself I want to quit due to reactions from some customers. But at the same time, when you think of how you started, why you started, and some other compliments that you've gotten, the positive one, you just have to wear your shoe and keep the race going. Actually, this particular outfit, the design was chosen by the customer, but most times, inspiration to creating something new is the desire to want to do different, you know, to just give something different from the usual, something different from what people have been saying. What can you do? I know most times you say there's nothing new under the sun, okay, but sometimes a little touch makes the difference. So it's just that passion to just, do something different from the usual thing that people have been saying. Okay, let me start from the positive, the best. I remember a clothes I made for a customer, and I delivered the clothes. And 6 a.m. the next morning, the first message I saw was her test. She was really appreciating it to the extent that she offered to buy me a drink. At least at that point, I really felt so glad in that I could do something that would put smile in someone's face. You get that point where your client wears their clothes and they are all joyful. That's one of the best moments. And the worst moment I've had coming so far was the day I made clothes for a customer, and the guy called me after I delivered the work. He called me, and the first comment that came out from his mouth was, "This clothes you did is rubbish." I really felt so terrible, because the worst thing that would happen is for you to do something for someone and the first comment is, destructive. So when he said that, I at that point I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know how to console him because it happens to be his birthday shoot wear. So I just had to be calm, and I was even begging him to bring it back. But he did not. So imagine that 2 days later, he sent me the picture of that clothes, appreciating me. That when he wore the clothes, people were commenting on it. But trust me, that first comment of the clothes you made is rubbish was really devastating for me. So I think that was one of the worst moments of my career. Past. Can I remember any? There's this style they used to call six pieces. I remember then that every female, they want to, make something of that nature where you sew a cloth and it's all flowing. 6 pieces. Yeah, it's called 6 pieces. I don't know why they gave it that name actually. You get it. Okay, the current one is this female style they call palazzo trouser. I actually like that style. It's easy to wear. It goes with eventually everything. Yes, the baggy one, exactly. I think that's the current one I like. It's still very current, though it's fading out gradually. But as it used to be, you know, back then, and people will say this old school, till it came up again, and you know, people are loving it. It's looking so different, and all of that. Everybody's appreciating it. I did not go to a fashion school, and I wouldn't say I'm totally self-taught because I actually went to someone to learn. But I would say basically out of 80%, I learned 50% myself, YouTube and all of that. Like 30% the basic from someone, and 50% on YouTube. So that's how good YouTube can actually help anybody if you really want to learn. First of all, is your passion for something that will actually drive you to, searching for more answers. I'm still learning, still in progress. The finished product. After you're done with all of the stress and all of that, the finished product, what you get at the end of the day. That's the most exciting part. From getting the fabrics either by you or by your client, to cutting, ironing, sewing, ironing while sewing, ironing even sewing. So tailoring is all about ironing and ironing and ironing. So and packaging too, very important. Definitely. Except you don't want to go into the real fashion business. Everyone that desires or have inspiration to be bigger in whatever you do, you definitely one of those having your personal label is one of the things. So I have always, in fact, I am presently working towards that. Actually, at the beginning of the year, everyone has his or her goals, set out goals. So one of the things is actualizing my label. So that's one of the things I'm working towards. Yes, entertainment. I used to be into movie things. I don't basically act. I do sometimes, but I do more of continuity. Continuity is part of the crew. Okay, it's called script supervisors. They can also act as the AD. I do script writing, but for now I had to pause everything to build my fashion brand. The truth is, for the past few years, not like I don't have, I sure have hobbies, but considering my present drive, I kind of lower a lot of whole things. I'm just focusing on this whole work, building myself in it and all of that. But yes, I sure have hobbies. I like swimming. I do a little of reading. I do a little of movie watching. I love to gist a lot. I can talk for the word. I gist a lot, so I think all of those keep me going. I love music too. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a general thing. It's a general thing. Whatever you find yourself doing, do it with all of your heart. Now, one principle I have that has kept me going actually is do more than you're paid. At the end of the day, you get a better result. Now, you're not doing that because you actually just want to please your clients. You're doing that to build yourself and to create a better opportunities for yourself. And in whatever you're doing, make sure you have passion for it. Because if not for the passion I have for this job, I would have quitted long ago. So passion is everything you can ever, and have God. God is the ultimate. Most times I get stuck on the road. I just have to tell the Holy Spirit to remind me. So whatever you know you believe in, if it's God, whatever, make sure you have him, and always call on him when you need him to, at all times. I'm sure you always need him, definitely.